Welcome back to Equine Photo School. I'm Oli Moss. We're going to talk about using two printers today. Got one set up, but we're going to talk about how do you use two. What's like the benefit? What's the deal here? Okay, number one, you've got a lot of orders to take care of. Having two printers gets them printed faster. Okay, a lot of the times we are waiting on this printer. Like I said earlier in other videos, this Pro 100 prints an 8x10 in 30 seconds, which sounds pretty quick. You send 10 8x10s there, pretty soon you're waiting 5 minutes on prints, and that's a long time, right? So that's a bottleneck, right? So when we're having a lot of orders, waiting on one printer sucks. So sometimes I have 3 printers. Most of the time we got 2 printers at most events. 2 printers is good. It's a very small event where only one printer is necessary. Well, this is probably the smallest setup I've done in a really long time, but basically we're ready to rock and roll. You start to get a good booth system going on here, pretty soon you're going to have a ton of orders. If this person's doing their job showing pictures very quickly, if you have 2 or 3 of those, they're sending orders over here to be printed very quickly. This starts to pile up. You're waiting on the printer, right? So when that happens, having 2 printers is nice because you can send one order to one printer, another order to another printer. Another scenario that happens is that somebody's going to order a big order. They might do 10 8x10s, they might do 5 5x7s, and 10 8x10s. Who knows? People order a lot of pictures, and there's some customers that are like your super fans, and they are going to order a ton of pictures. So what's nice is you can split that order amongst the 2 printers. And what we'll do is we'll just send all of the 5x7s to one printer, all the 8x10s to another printer, or we'll load 8x10s in both printers and split it. And if they order 15 8x10s, we're going to send, 5 to one and 10 to the other, or whatever. We'll split it. Just do whatever you can to kind of reduce that bottleneck. We're trying to help these printers keep up with our demand, right? Because we have a ton of orders coming in, and we can edit them super fast, we can take them super fast, but what we end up waiting on is this dang printer. Okay, so that's why having 2 or 3 is super beneficial. I've seen people get like a little rack system, to kind of save space and go up. Typically we have loads of space for the booth, we just set up other tables. I will bring in some like construction tables that fold up that are very heavy duty. They fold, they're really nice for these printers. They don't take up much space, they're typically square. I set up those, I think they're from Works. I'll put a picture of it on the screen here for you. But those are super nice, they're heavy duty, they don't rock as the printer's going back and forth as it's making prints. And you can put like 2 back to back if you want to, but it's really nice to have those 2 printers. The other thing is, if one goes down, you're still in business. You can still print, you can still fulfill orders. It's a little bit slower, but you're still in business. I've been in situations where as the horses run by, they're so close to the booth that it blasts the booth with gravel sometimes, or dirt from the arena, or a dirt clod. I've had a dirt clod fly up and land smack in there, and just, well, printer's done. Right? Printer is kaput at that point. So I had to just shut down that printer, but luckily I had a backup, so we just kept on going. With the other one was already plugged in, it was already going. We could fulfill orders a little bit slower, but that one, we couldn't even clean it. It was just mud. Like, it was gross. It was nasty. So we just chucked it and got a new one, for the next weekend. We went down to Best Buy, picked up a new one. We were back in business the next day. There's no problem. But because we had 2, we could still fulfill orders and still try to keep up with demand, but it was a little bit slower. We just had to work a little bit slower pace. So having multiple printers is a very good thing. I definitely recommend it. If you haven't set up a booth yet, you're thinking, man, there's no way I'm going to be that busy in the booth, because I'm not that busy all the time. But once you get a booth, things are going to go here super fast, super smooth. Edits are going to, like, you do my editing like I showed you in Lightroom, it's going to be wicked fast. You're going to be sending jobs to this printer. I promise. You do things the way I do things, the printer is going to be the bottleneck, okay? So getting 2 printers is going to help you reduce that bottleneck and keep that stack of orders low, keep those profits flowing, keep your customers happy. They'll tell their friends, yeah, it was super easy. It was actually really fast too. By the time I went and put away my horse, I came back, my prints were done. They're happy, right? So they're going to tell their friends, and their friends are going to come by, and the snowball builds and builds and builds, and then it crashes at the end of the weekend. finally everybody's got taken care of and they're done and ready to go. So do things like I do, you're going to be in business and you're going to be in the profits, okay? You're going to be way into the black at the end of the weekend. You've hired help, you've done all this stuff. It's going to pay off, promise.